Welcome to this tutorial on Eine Kleine Nachtmusik by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. This is from the Faber Adult Piano Adventures, Book 1. And for this tutorial, we're definitely going to go over some new things, such as the quarter rest. So it kind of looks like a little squiggle or a little lightning bolt. So those are one beat of rest or silence. So if we're looking at the rhythmic example up at the top of the page in 4/4, if we were to clap and count this rhythm, we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the rest still gets a beat and it still needs to be acknowledged as a beat, but you won't be playing anything on the rest. Finding our position for this piece, if we're looking at the 1 finger in the right hand, that's on middle C. Meanwhile, left hand, 3 is on the top space in the bass clef. So if we're thinking of our mnemonic device from the bottom to top for spaces, all cows eat grass. So that's a 3 on G. So the thumbs are gonna be next to each other for this song. So I'm gonna go ahead and play through the piece and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. That's it. Of course, definitely a simplified arrangement of the original. So to get started, one thing that we're going to talk about is actually at the very beginning of the piece. And as you can see, it's happening on beat 1, where we have the little accent sign below the middle C note. And that happens again at measure 5 and 6 on F, the 4th finger. So when we see an accent, remember that those are more emphasis on the note. So I like to kind of describe it as like a punch on the note. So just more weight compared to the other notes that don't have the accent sign. And again, that's going to happen at the end of the piece, measure 17. So it's starting off the same as measure 1 and 2 of the piece. And by the way, when we're having these different notes here, between the right and the left for this melody, we definitely still want to connect those. So I like to think of it as like a seesaw action. One note goes down, and as you're going up with this one, the other one's going down. So you're kind of rocking instead of separated. So you want to lean into every note. Similarly on measure 7 as well. Left, right, left, connecting all those. If you'd like, and I find it can be helpful, is to actually circle all of your quarter rests before you dive into the piece, just so that you can really see like, okay, those are the ones where I don't play. And you want to acknowledge that one beat of silence. So we have on measure 4, on measure 8, those are on the last part of the measure, so on beat 4. But if we're looking at the second page, notice that the rests occur on beat 1. So those we definitely want to watch out for, because those kind of come up pretty quickly. So go ahead and circle measure 10, measure 12, measure 14, and 16. So those all have the rest on beat 1. So let's go ahead and dive through, starting from measure 1 to 4. So we have our dotted half note to start, and with the accent, 1, 2, 3, leaning in, 2, 3. And notice that the second system, so measure 5 to 8, also has the exact same rhythm that you just did on the first system, measure 1 to 4. So accenting on the first beat, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, rest. Okay, moving on to measure 9, dynamic sign is mezzo forte, so a little bit less loud, medium loud, a little bit less than the forte that was at the beginning of the piece. So here's where the rests on beat 1 come in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. And one thing I find when I'm teaching this piece, what tends to happen many times is going from measure 12 into 13 can sometimes be a bit challenging, just because the way that the melody is going between right, left, and then back to right on measure 13. And also the eyes have to go from the end of the top system into the next line, which is kind of a big leap with the eyes from one end of the page to the other. So I would really focus on that, repeating that 2 bars a few times. So if we're starting on measure 12 to 13, rest. Right, rest. Left, right. And again, similar situation when we're going from measure 16 to 17 as well. So we have that rest at the beginning of measure 16, and then the eyes have to go into measure 17 on the next system. So we have rest, left, right. So, and that's where we repeat that first part of the piece with the accenting and the forte. So let's try that again from measure 16 to 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And going to the end of the piece. I hope you found that helpful. Please let me know if you like this tutorial. Please give it a thumbs up. It supports my channel and also encourages me to make more tutorials like this for you guys. So to end the video, I'm gonna go ahead and play the duet part as well. So eventually when you get the piece down and you feel really confident and comfortable, then you can follow along and play with me and we can do a duet together. So for the duet, I will do a count off and then we'll come in together. 1, 2, 3, 4.